We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego Unpacked. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Just start with this. It didn't just start with this. So now that I'm looking at statements and I'm seeing people lie, it's okay because
you're saying people lie. Does that include yourself?
Because I'm not going to handle it with the law. I'm going to handle it with the court. Y'all going to get sued for defamation.
Such a horrible statement. I'm not going to call the police. I'm going to call the cops. This is your GWOAT. I'm not going to handle it with the law. I'm going to go to court. Let's keep going.
And character. All of y'all up over there. So I need to get y'all. Because I'm not going to handle it with the law. I'm going to handle it with the court. Y'all going to get sued for defamation of character. All of y'all up over there. So I need to get y'all checkbooks ready.
How on earth do some of y'all try to let Claressa Shields get away with this behavior in rhetoric? For example, how are you the aggressor and then now you're playing like you're the victim? You are acting like somebody put paws on you. It doesn't work like that. You can't be the villain and the good guy in this story. Right? And what really grinds my gears about how Claressa is moving is this. And I'll give you guys an analogy. It's like being a parent and you have a kid, right? And let's say it's a mom. She notices she had $40. $40? What movie is that from? $40 in her purse. All of a sudden, the money is coming up missing. Now, everybody was out the house except for you and little Claressa. In my opinion, Claressa is like the type of person that when the mom confronts, hey, have you seen my money? It's just me and you in the house, and now my $40 is missing. I know I put it in my purse. I feel like Claressa is one of them baby's kids that stole the money, and then they're going to respond and act like you're crazy when you know something is awry, something is amiss. I know I had $40. I put it inside of my wallet. I put it inside of my purse. And then now Claressa's going to talk to you like you're crazy, like you got a tail. And she's the one that took the money. I feel like she does that frequently, right? You're like, Claressa, just be honest. Did you take that $40? And instead of just coming clean and being like, yeah, I did it. I wanted to go to the arcade or wanted to buy some makeup or whatever. Got to get this t-shirt and coming clean now that you've been outed. She'll be like, I don't know. Maybe you didn't go to the bank. That's what I can't tolerate that. I don't allow anybody to insult my intelligence like that. Right. I know I have $40 in here. If you took it, you took it. Just come clean. But Claressa will do everything but that. She'll blame everybody else while calling Baumgardner and Laila Ali and anybody else in between the culprit and the victim. Laila Ali, she thinks she's trying to act like the victim. Alycia Baumgardner, she's trying to act like the victim. When are you ever at fault? Right? If you took the money, just say you took the money. Right? And don't try to, oh man, maybe, I don't know, maybe the wind blew it away. Like, come on. And then you go under their bed and you find the $40. It's like Claressa is literally out here doing interviews, contradictions, double standards, and she's acting like cameras and a microphone do not exist. I told you the most dangerous thing right now. Camera, a microphone, and that Wi-Fi. Social media is destroying our youth. A lot of these Gen Z people, they think they could just run off at the mouth. And even though it's all been documented, back in the day, if you were a gang member, like you were a Crip, you might be able to do a crime. There was no street cameras like they have now. Everybody didn't have a cell phone, so I don't see you run into the getaway car. We're in different times. Everything is almost everything is like documented, recorded in some form or fashion. I watch a lot of true crime, and there'll be somebody who robs a bank, and then the bank camera doesn't fully get like the license plate or the make of the car. They'll go to the other surrounding businesses and buildings and pull from their CCTV to get the rest of the information. So it's like a whole network of different cameras. It's going to be hard, especially if that's your actual car you driving. You don't have like a stolen car. You know what I mean? So I think Clarissa just always trying to insult people's intelligence with pure lies. Now, I know you guys expect and want examples and receipts. I'll give you one. So here's an example. You said you're suing Baumgardner. The night in question where you slapped Baumgardner, you physically assaulted her. Right after the Ronda Rousey Gina Carano fight, you were interviewed. This is what she said. Play the clip.
I would interact with Michaela. I don't got shit to say to the other girl. That ain't my fucking friend.
Once again, the girl cannot do an interview without repeatedly cussing. And you want to act ladylike. You cuss like a sailor or a pirate. In case you couldn't hear from the volume, the interviewer said Michaela Mayer was at this event, an MVP fighter, and another MVP fighter, Alycia Baumgardner, was at the event as well. Did you have a chance to talk to either person? To which Claressa Shields says, I would talk to Michaela Mayer, but I don't have anything to say to the other girl. So you don't say her name, even though the interviewer just said Alycia Baumgardner. Now you're trying to pretend like you don't know. This is how fake Clarissa is being. The guy just said Baumgardner's name, and then now you're trying to play dumb like you don't know what Baumgardner's name is. You said, I don't have anything to say to that other girl. We not effing friends, blah, blah, blah. But then later in the night, in the MVP Netflix after party, right? It was really a Netflix after party. Nikisa confirmed that, right? You run up on her. So how are you going to, one, pretend you don't know her name? Oh, I don't know about that other girl. Like you're above it and you're the GWOAT. You're too big to even know her name. And then you just said, I'll play it again.
I would interact with Michaela. I don't got shit to say to the other girl. That ain't my fucking friend.
I don't got ish to say to the other girl. Once again, lies, because you did have something to say to the other girl when you ran up on her thinking you were going to be in the right. Right? This is the same girl that slapped Baumgardner or whatever happened there. And she's like, keep my relationship out your mouth, trying to go viral, thinking she Will Smith. Keep my wife's name out your mouth, right? And ever since then, it backfired. So here's the thing. I've already told you, all the GWOAT stands, the few of you that are left, game on. I want Clarissa to sue Baumgardner, because the moment you do, you now have the burden to prove that you are the victim and this happened and it was through no fault of your own. So I want Clarissa to waste her money trying to sue when there's all this evidence of your wrongdoing you're going to look stupid. You're going to lose money, right? You were the aggressor. The clip shows. You're acting like this is not on camera. It would even be better if it was somebody had a hot mic on, but there was no video. There's literally video of you. Biceps looking like Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. Video of you in this confrontation, literally running up on her, right? You're saying in your response, y'all don't know, and the clip doesn't show the full story. This girl has her hand by her side. She is not dressed. Look at, she bad. She does not look dressed to fight. You pulled up. Why y'all bringing up my relationship? You need to stop. So one, you're a liar, because the other clip, you just said you have nothing to say if you see that girl because y'all not friends. Then you pull up on her. It backfires. Now you're the one that's going to sue somebody? Like, there's not a whole ad video of you being the aggressor. And then now you're trying to act like the victim. And then you're saying that Baumgardner's the police. But then you just said you're going to go to the law, but not the court, which was absolutely bonkers. And then you're like, I felt threatened. I'm showing you. The girl's hand was, it looks interlocked and at her waist. How did you feel threatened? She didn't have a weapon on her outside of, her fist. But then I'm showing you her fists weren't even up. You were just having a conversation. And you're talking about, I was provoked and I felt threatened. I mean, any judge with eyes is going to be able to see this and to see what really happened. And that you pulled up on her ready to start something. And what's worse, Michaela Mayer, Baumgardner, they are MVP fighters. So we know they were invited to an MVP event. You are lucky to have been included in the festivities because you had an opportunity to sign to them, but you chose Wynn Records. You chose Salida Promotions. So really, that's like going to, let's say, Apple. Apple has a Christmas party. Imagine if I went to Apple's Christmas party. I had a pre-existing beef with, rest in peace, Steve Jobs or Tim Cook or whoever, right? And I pull up on Tim Cook. I seen what you were saying online. Keep my name out your mouth. And then it escalates. And Tim Cook's hands by his side, like Baumgardner, like I just showed you. And I haul off and hit him. I'm going to jail for sure. So please, Claressa Shields, waste your money suing MVP and Baumgardner or whatever you said. And that all you do is cap. All you do is cap. You talking about, oh, I'm suing 50 Cent. I gotta sue 50 Cent, right? Where's that? Because I researched it and I didn't see no formal paperwork for an actual lawsuit. But you running around on radio shows saying you suing 50 Cent. And then why are you suing 50 Cent, who was roasting you and posting some stuff, right? But you're not suing Maserati Bud, and he was the one kind of that kicked this up. We didn't even know who Maserati Bud was like that until he started posting videos with you and telling his side of the story. So the girl's all over the place. I ain't no plea ad chick. That's what she said in her live. But you're threatening to sue MVP. You're threatening to sue Alycia Baumgardner. You're threatening to sue 50 Cent, but not Maserati Bud. In the past, you said you were going to sue MVP for calling Amanda Serrano the GWOAT because it's trademarked. But you're no police ad chick. I'm telling you guys, all this girl is doing is hurting her career with the lies. And shout out to all the bloggers who are covering it. Please do sue Alycia Baumgardner. That is more content for all of us bloggers, and you're going to look ridiculous. You're going to look absolutely bizarro going into court. The tapes start getting played because, again, all the bloggers and people on Instagram and TikTok, we're in new times. They can go to a Boxingego video and be like, see, Your Honor, time stamped, 10 minutes, 3 seconds, watch this. And it's going to be a clip I showed in a previous video or another blogger showed, complete with timestamps of all your behavior from IG lives and other public domains and social media and interviews. That's what is wrong with this new generation. They're acting like I could say a bunch of things and do whatever I want, but nothing's going to become of that. And unfortunately for Clarissa, she really don't get it because she doesn't realize that the amount of talking that you do, right? The amount of talking you do, you're not a good speaker. I could tell by the words you use. I could tell by your dialect, everything, right? You're not. So you don't have the finesse to put out a 30, 40-minute video without incriminating yourself, right? For example, the beautiful GOAT, Laila Ali. I believe she would be able to speak for an hour, 30 minutes, hour and a half. And because she has a great head on her shoulders and she's a grown woman and acts like it, she don't have to get babysat. She would be able to navigate a video, whether it's a grievance or if it's just a cooking tutorial or whatever, without a bunch of edits. This girl, Clarissa, is down bad. She's doing lives. You're acting erratic because you're acting like you're prepared. Clearly, you're looking at notes, some type of show notes or a cell phone or cue cards or flashcards, whatever you use, you're clearly looking at it. How are you prepared, but still when you hit live and go live and record, you still sound unprepared? Oh man, okay, so that's what they did. Let me tell you about all the promoters. There's a lot of promoters. Jesus. I'll just start with the American promoters. And then you start naming non-American promoters like Eddie Hearn and Matchroom and Queensberry. You are not good at this live streaming thing, in my honest opinion. You are not good. You are not Boxingego. I can do 4-hour streams. They're on my page. That's what these boxers don't get. You can box. You can fight. Whoop-de-doo. Good job. But a lot of these boxers are trying to enter a new domain, a new world, which is streaming. And it's so easy for the boxers to be like, you're just a streamer. You're not a boxer. You don't get in the ring and take punches, so your opinion don't matter. But then when they come into my world, which is content creation, speaking on a microphone, they suck. A lot of them, outside of a handful of people, right? So it's funny that when I'm breaking down boxing or whatever YouTuber, you got the Crawfords and Clarissas. They're famous for being, oh, you guys are casuals. You just don't know about boxing. Shakur Stevenson, that whole clique. Y'all don't know boxing like us. You don't box, so you don't get it. So we don't know nothing. But then every time y'all try to do something in our world, which is streaming, it's terrible. You say the wrong things. You say contradictory things. Pull up Shakur Stevenson contradictions or exposed, and you'll find a bunch of videos where people stitch together. Hey, you said this about Tank and the rehydration clause, and then you said this about a rehydration clause, and it's not adding up. You just said that 2 months ago. And then now he doing videos and future interviews trying to explain away. I don't have to do that. I say it right the first time. Nothing in my Clarissa videos or any of my other videos, Usyk and Rico, I don't take nothing back. I put it on wax. I say it right and do it right the first time. Then I move on. Clarissa, there is so much ammunition against you for this particular case. It's not even funny. And you got pure idiots, in my opinion, who are validating or trying to uplift because they like Clarissa this type of behavior, right? They're like, oh, Jermall, Charlo, and Caitlin Plant, they hit each other and this and that. We're not talking about them. They are men. They had their own spat. It didn't escalate this way. Da 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 da. So everything's a case by case basis, right? Clarissa and Baumgardner, they weren't even in a fight environment. You were in a Netflix after party. That's not a fight environment. You weren't wearing like really like street clothes that you could, you know, move around in and like get loose on somebody in a fight. She wearing a tight dress with all types of accessories and stuff, and her hair done up, and you know what I mean, makeup. Like, you're not even in a fight type of environment. And people were like, oh man, it's the same thing. No, it's not. They're also females, women, right? And you don't like somebody's words, so you haul off and hit them and touch them, and come on, bro. And then Clarissa, I don't believe nothing she says, because she's like, I'm the GWOAT. I got $8 million. Do you know anybody else that got $8 million that move around like this? Everything she says is almost a lie, right? For example, like here's the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm not. You signed the Wynn Records deal. You got a $3 million bonus, right? 8 minus 3 is 5, right? It's a multi-fight deal. So either A, they owe you, if the 3 million comes from the 8, they owe you 5 more, or the signing bonus was completely separate and then they owe you 8 plus the 3, which is 11 million, right? Whatever, either one of those. So either they owe you 5 more or they owe you 8, you know what I mean? And you just fought Franchon Cruz in a rematch nobody asked for. So what person do you know that has this type of money coming to him that immediately wants to squander it on court cases, on potential bail because you assaulted somebody? She famously bragged, I ain't got no mugshots. How can I not be a good role model? Well, if you put your hands on people because you don't like the words that they're using, you might get your mugshot. You know what I mean? And you guys are acting like you're cool with it. Like every blogger talking about this, we the ones that are crazy, right? This ain't the behavior. When you have money, you have something to lose. So if you really were making that type of money and you have something to lose, wouldn't you make your decisions a bit more carefully? Because you have, let you tell it, a wonderful relationship, right? So your relationship is amazing. Your money, you're richer than everybody, right? You're richer than Pryor. That's a bar. Why would you give all that up for Baumgardner, who you said is too little for you and can't fight? The girl, that's what I'm saying. That's why people don't believe what you're saying, because this is not I don't care that you came from Flint. A lot of people came from the hood and all that, but the way you act is completely inappropriate, unprofessional, distasteful, and it makes people question if you really got it like that, because nothing about you is feeding that $8 million deal story, right? And here's the other thing. So I've already said the deal could have been 8 plus the 3 million signing bonus. She won't tell you, so I just have to speculate. Or 8 minus the 3 signing bonus that you got, $3 million, blah, 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 right? How many fights have you had on this deal? Why would Wynn Records, who nobody knows about, you got like 3-4 artists on the whole record label, right? Why, if you did an $8 million deal, why would they give you the full 8 straight away? So they're just giving you $8 million and you don't have to do nothing for it? You don't have to actually fight? Why would they do that? So she running around saying, I have the $8 million, but how do you have the $8 million? You don't have to fight for it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Think. How many times, like, did Clarissa say, I got $8 million? I'm the $8 million lucrative deal, $8 million, $3 million signing bonus. So you have from 8 to 11 million, right? Because that's what you keep raving about. Why would they get, if that's the entirety of your deal, why would they give you all the money up front? See, these are the things y'all overlook and won't ask Clarissa, right? Why would a company, like, for example, in basketball, if Bronny James got a $160 million deal, they don't just splash $160 million in his account. It's a multi-year deal. And a lot of times they have clauses where they can opt out and things like that, trade or whatever. So you don't just get the whole, I'm a Niners fan. They're not just giving George Kittle $240 million in one fell swoop in one motion, right? That's a contract for 5 years or 7 years or whatever the terms are of the contract. So you got this girl who's like $8 million. I got the $8 million. How do you have the $8 million? $3 million signing bonus. You're still $5 million short. So they gave you $5 million. So in the Franchon Cruz fight, so the Franchon Cruz fight was worth $5 million to these people. And then a $3 million signing bonus, that would be the only way that you already have the $8 million. So something about this story and your behavior is looking shaky because it don't really add up that you got $8 million. And then the same person in New York at a cheeseburger spot complaining about sliders being $24 for 3. She's like, oh man, this got Wagyu meat. It better be some Wagyu. It better be some aged cheese on these sliders. Who acts like that? I've been around celebrities, and guess what? These people take care of the whole bill and didn't even eat nothing. That I've been around that, right? Where imagine like a Jay-Z or whoever, Kanye or whoever, right? There's a table of 40, 50 people. They didn't even eat. They didn't even drink, but they put it on their tab and just pay for everybody's stuff because they stinking rich like that. I've been in situations like that, right? Where somebody actually, I'm not going to say who, but somebody just paid the bill for the whole table. Despite what you ordered, or like they're at a Chinese spot. They're not like, oh, give me $12 for the egg rolls. I didn't eat no egg rolls, so I want the 12. They don't care about that. Claressa Shields is tripping off $24 cost for sliders. Nothing what you say adds up at all. Nothing. You got $8 million, but you did the Sukiban wrestling, and you had a bunch of people. You had like 400 people in your head and putting on makeup, kind of like it was a pit stop. All these people working on you like you the $6 million man, right? And they rebuilding you. You sitting in the chair with a filter on, getting makeup, right? And they're putting braids in your hair, spray painting makeup, and foundation and all that type of stuff, right? And then you at the airport with the same outfit that you had on at Sukiban. They ain't got showers. How do you wear what appears to be the same exact outfit, the same exact makeup? Y'all tell me how this works. Tell me so you tell me, my question to you, pay attention. Tell me who gets made up wrestles, and then it looks like they got the same fitters that they had on before. The same makeup. The hair looks the same. See, that's Clarissa right there, right? They giving you the glam squad treatment or whatever the girls call it. They putting the Suki Bond braids up in your head, right? So pay special attention to the makeup, the style of the makeup, and the braids, right? You see that. They put the makeup on you and the braids on you, the Suki Bond. Then you came out doing this. Right? That's the GWOAT, right? You see the braids, you see her flexing crazy, right? Then you proceed to get in the ring and fight Juntal and them. Man, where's Juntal at? Wipe yourself off. You're bleeding. Wipe yourself off. You dead. Right here. So that's Clarissa walking in the ring. Gets in the ring, wrestles. Look at the outfit. Look at the braids. Is it the braids? What did Kendrick say? Is it the braids? Watch. Wrestles. Look at the hair. Look at the makeup. Look at the outfit. Okay, so you wrestled. That was a wrestling move. You wrestled, even though it looked fake as hell. Bow. Bro, look at that. That looked horrible. It looked like a Tubi movie. But look at the braids. Look at the jacket. Look at the makeup. Is it the braid? Watch. Is she standing over her? She pins her. You wrestled. Okay. So we're all on the same page. You guys have an idea of what Clarissa was wearing and what she looked like as she wrestled. Cool. Now let me pull up the file where she was in the airport, which was clearly a separate time frame, maybe even the next day or whatever, right? Look at the hair, look at the makeup.
Now, y'all, wouldn't I be the luckiest girl if I got to go to the Olympics in 2028?
Wouldn't I be the luckiest girl if I got to go to the Olympics in 2028? You would be the luckiest girl if you showered and you took them braids out. How is this not the same outfit? You just wrestled in this outfit. Look, tell me I'm lying. Hold on. Look, you got the same, you're working out in this. I got to do some detective work because this can't be y'all GWOAT wearing the same outfit everywhere out of town. You're not from New York. So, and the time frame, you don't have enough time to have taken it to the cleaners unless you Batman and you got the same fit at all these events. Because people have already said, hey, the dress you wore to Papoose in the Stephanie Mills concert, it looked like you wore that to that exhibit in New York that they had to honor your accomplishments or whatever. So this ain't looking good, bro. How do you wrestle in an outfit, in a makeup? I'm not even a girl. I'm not even a woman. I don't really know all about makeup outside of my sister and what I've seen from her and ex-girlfriends or whatever. But what I do know as a man, you ain't supposed to sleep with that makeup on. You never heard your mama or your sister or ex be like, she in bed with you, like obviously if it's your girlfriend, right? Your girl in bed or whatever, she's like, y'all went to the club, went somewhere fancy, and your girl's like, you're like, what's wrong, babe? And then she like, I gotta get up and take this makeup off. Cause they get comfortable in the bed or whatever, they want to go to sleep, but they know they shouldn't sleep without that makeup being removed. I don't know, man. I don't know. So again, this is the GWOAT at Sukiban. This is her walking out to wrestle, right? Sukiban, and it looked like a Nike black jacket. And this is her at least several hours later after the wrestling event where she was talking about the Olympics. I don't know. Y'all be the judge. What does that look like? Because right there, it looked like a backwards Nike check. And then you look right there, it looks like that Nike check. It looked to me like the same jacket. And I'm like, what is this right here? Because I don't really see this, whatever this is right here, right? This tag or whatever. But then to me, it looks like it could be connected to the backpack strap. So look right there, that Nike logo, right? Y'all see that? It looked like a Nike black jacket, right? And that's what it looks like right there. So to be honest, it looked like, unless you have multiple change outs of the same exact outfit like Batman, it looked like the same fit. How do you wrestle, even if it's quick, and you got the same makeup, the same braids, the same you know what I mean? Like, this is bizarre. Especially for someone who made $8 million, how you had the same outfit. And again, y'all tell me, am I tripping? I want to know. I really want to know in the comment section, right?
Olympic gold medals.
So
Now, y'all.
you see you see right there. That's later after the event. You see what she's wearing. That jacket thing with the Nike, right? And look how it fits and all that. And this is Sukiban. Right. We don't need the sound. Wait till she get in the ring. That looked like the same fit. So you traveling so much, you don't even have a change of clothes, it looks like. Look, tell me that don't look like the same jacket that you had at the airport hours later. So again, how are you wrestling and getting your hair done and makeup done, right? All these things, right? You getting the makeup done, right? You getting the braids done. And then when you do the rant video, which is clearly another day because it was on Instagram Live, right? You were on Instagram Live for that one. So you can't go on Instagram Live unless it's actually live, which is this right here. It looked like you got the same braids. It looked like you got the same makeup. And you screaming on Alycia Baumgardner. Am I tripping? Again, this just don't seem like behavior of someone who got $8 million. I've seen concerts. I've been to Chris Brown concerts, Prince, rest in peace to my boy Prince, right? I've seen the best of them, Eminem, 50 Cent. I've seen all these people in concert. And during their concert, they've had more like outfit changes, like Chris Brown, take you down. I really want to take you down. Don't stop, get it. Right? Yeah. He's doing more outfit changes at the concert than it looks like Clarissa is doing. And then you got the nerve to keep doing these rant videos. Like, how does Chris Brown in a 2-hour concert change his outfit more than it looked like you changing your outfit, and you keep screaming we broke and jealous? Nothing about this girl makes any sense. You gonna let my boy Breezy, a man at a concert, have more fit changes than you? All that bush for the bird, and you ain't nothing but a vulture. What? Never the right to say goodbye when I gotta get you. Like, this is unbearable stuff. And then you wonder why Clarissa keep getting blazed by all the bloggers. Look at how you're acting. Like, you're running around so erratic. This is like Amanda Bynes, Black Britney Spears energy that you are giving. You're popping up at all these places. Everywhere you go is mayhem. You're at spots, it looks like you don't have enough time to, because it's not your normal residence. Didn't Papoose say to Vlad TV, you got a bunch of residences? You need to get a residence. Why don't you live with Papoose in New York where you could use this washing machine and ironing board and stuff like that, so you can have multiple fit changes and that kind of thing. Like, something gotta give, bro. Wynn Records, get your girl. She is out here crashing out. So that is just something I noticed. I'm literally seeing a Nike check mark or whatever. You see that white right there, and then right here, it appears to me that is the same jacket. Look at the collar. Look at how it opened up. So you're doing all these gigs and you don't even have like the proper time to bring an ensemble and multiple clothes. I spend the night in like sometimes I go out to Santa Cruz or something and stay out there for a couple of days with the lady, right? I got more fit changes than you. Even if I'm only going to be there for 1 day or 2 days. Like, how do you not have enough clothes for these trips? But then got the nerve to call us broke. And like, something is wrong. We might not be working with a full deck here, because why would you even feel comfortable as a celebrity that makes $8 million, right? Why would you feel comfortable knowing you've been in the public eye at all of these various spots, knowing that you got banned and your name is not like in the brightest of lights, we'll say, right? Knowing all these things, and you're just comfortable showing up like this. You're comfortable getting on camera with the same braids, with what appears to be allegedly similar outfits or the same outfit at some of these events. And then you're ranting on top of that for 40 minutes. That could have been a 40-minute shower. I crack myself up. I'm being real though. I'm being real. And then let me talk about, I ain't spending no time on this really, but let me talk about the GWOAT stands. I told y'all are gonna make this worse for her. The few of you that's left being in the comment section and like acting like I'm talking nonsense, but you're allowing her to run around, say whatever she wants, do whatever she wants. And then when people like myself, other bloggers, do our reports, give our constructive criticism and opinion on all of this erratic behavior that definitely detracts and takes away from the greatness that she possesses with boxing. That's what you're good at. That's what we initially knew you for, right? But you're thinking you're bigger than the program. It's like, does she even want to box anymore? I know she said she has an announcement to a fight, but as of me recording the video, I haven't heard no updates. When the tickets go on sale, right? And she's like, yeah, Wynn Records and Salida, they support everything I'm doing. Why are they not posting about it? If they support what you're doing, tell Wynn Records to post a clip of you hitting Alycia Baumgardner. Say, hey, sometimes it get like that. It get hot up in the kitchen. We fully support Claressa Shields and her putting her hands on people because she don't like what they had to say. Why won't they do that? Because they don't support that. And they know if they did attempt to support that, then they better turn them comments off like Claressa Shields does, right? Because the moment you free them comments, the fans are going to tell you about yourself. Like, how do you condone this? How you a company that approves of this behavior? So that's it. You GWOAT stands are making it way worse. She's already doing it, but you guys are adding to it because you're enablers. Instead of just submitting, which is the only thing you can do, submitting to the bloggers and being like, yeah, Boxingego is right. The bloggers are right. She need to get out the public eye for a while, clean up her act, treat people a little bit better, work on the image, disappear off social media probably to regroup and recalibrate. You want to blame us. Like, what I'm saying is not rooted in morality and ethics. Like, I'm just saying some old bull that would hurt Clarissa. I don't make that type of content. I told you from the beginning, Clarissa should have paid me because I couldn't work for someone like that for free, for sure. But if she was willing to pay me, I'll get you right. I have a boxing channel. I have fans that love me. I know how to edit. I know how to record. I know about audio. I would have your image right. I know Photoshop. I use and know how to use AI. I'm very tech savvy. You see it from my video. Look at my quality. Damn near can see my fingerprint. You know what I mean? Like, I set everything up. So I was trying to help Claressa Shields for real. But she made a mistake. She tried to turn her negativity towards me. I'm not the one for that. And I told her, you know what I mean? This is not what you want. This is not what you want. I try, but if you want to talk and disrespect people, then people got to tell you about yourself too. You know what I mean? But all this extra behavior is not becoming of Claressa Shields' career. So you could get mad, get sour, contort your face, and do all these like yelling videos. You're only hurting yourself. It's not hurting me. You know what I mean? And the other thing too, some people are like, man, ego, but why? Don't ask me why, ask her why, right? 2, you don't understand. I firmly believe this girl is in my comment section, right? Under burner accounts. And if you ever, you want to threaten people and all that with like cease and desist, the moment you do that to me, then it's on, game on. And they're going to subpoena all these IP addresses and they will be able to find out who is leaving these comments. I've worked in IT. I know how this works, right? So don't do that. Don't do that. So if my speculation is wrong, then after the court subpoena the IP address and we'll see who's leaving these comments. But it to me, it clearly, other bloggers have said, her own cousin said that she got multiple burners and she be leaving comments. Every comment is like, man, ego, you're so funny, you were cooking, da 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 da. And then I get every so often different interchanging names and they're leaving like 10, 15 comments like downing me and you're stupid and all right, bet. So when don't get mad and talk about, oh, ego, can't we all get along? No, don't do that. When this girl under burner accounts trying to make her point, you're not gonna. And what I need from you guys is this: if you got any value from any of my content, I need y'all to show up in the comments, because what I believe is she or somebody connected to her is under burner accounts and they're leaving like 8, 10, 15 video comments on my videos at a time, trying to spam it up so it gets seen, right? Because they know they're outnumbered by what people really feel and what you guys genuinely feel in my comments, you guys are leaving. So, you know, don't be a stranger. Leave a comment if you gain any value from my video. I'm not going to let somebody spam up my comment section because they don't like a truthful message giving constructive criticism. You know what I mean? And that's what I believe she is doing, right? She wants so badly to control the narrative. And this is a demented person, because how do you block me on social media? All social media, she has me blocked, but then be on my page under burner accounts. How does that make any sense? What celebrity has time for that? Can you imagine Oprah doing all this? Beyonce? If I'm so horrible of a content creator and I'm dumb and stupid or whatever else these comments are saying about me, right? Pay me no mind. Let me work. Let me give my honest, transformative opinion on what's going on, and nobody should go along with it. But I believe Claressa is very thin-skinned. She wants to act like she has this ultimate poise and has it all figured out, and it's a fake confidence. I think her confidence is real when it comes to the sport of boxing, but outside, her dancing, her cooking, possibly the way she views how she looks, her skin tone, All those things, I don't think she's as confident as she's trying to portray. And again, that's not my problem. I had nothing to do with your childhood. And what's sad for Clarissa is you have an incredible story, right? People would be able to empathize and sympathize with you if you didn't act like this. You should be on the Wheaties box. You should be getting large brand deals just based only on your story. But you end up harming your brand by acting the way you're acting. Can you imagine Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Nike, Under Armour, all these big brands, right? Watching that Claressa Shields live and being like, hey, I'm a brand manager with Nike, Under Armour. Based on this, where she got them rusty Suki Bond braids and makeup and her yelling and calling Alycia Baumgardner a whore, right? That's the girl we want to sign as a brand ambassador. Like, it's remarkable. I told you this was going to get ugly, and I wasn't going to it's not going to make me look bad because I'm comporting myself in a professional manner like I always do. I can't say the same for everybody, right? So why would Fenty Savage want somebody who's acting like a savage and trying to reveal somebody else's alleged body count per the words of Broner, who looks like he has a problem abusing alcohol? Like, you can't take that Broner clip to court with you. A judge would throw that out. Like, this is not credible. It's hearsay. Get out of here. She thought it would be good. Oh, I'm not saying this. I didn't say this. I'm confirming it. This girl don't have no wits about her. No common sense. You just said, I didn't say it. Try to separate yourself from it. But then you said, but I'm confirming it. It's all there. I could play it if y'all want. Right?
I got something for you. I didn't say this. I didn't say this, by the way. I'm just confirming it now.
I didn't say this, by the way. I'm confirming it now. So you're uplifting hearsay, which is potentially slanderous. I don't know. I don't know Baumgardner's body count and all that. The girl, she's a couple eggs short of an omelet, bro. And again, to all y'all GWOAT stands who are encouraging this behavior, you're making it worse for her. How do you say something that is supposed to separate you from it, but then it just makes you look worse? Oh, I didn't say this, by the way, but I'm confirming it. So you're a party to it. You're pretty much co-signing it by even playing it, especially when you said, I'm confirming it. Again, who does show notes and fumbles this bad in a live stream? And he like, Wynn Records supports me. Tell Wynn Records, since they support you, and Papoose, to put this live stream up on their Instagram page and turn the comments on. You guys are fake. You are lying. If they support you, okay. If Clarissa had the Fire Inside movie, right, and that trailer came out, I bet you Wynn Records would post that. They would post it because there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, you got a biopic, you got a little actress playing you, cool. Why won't they play this clip where you calling the person you just said you're going to sue a 304? A whoa. What type of sense does this make? You better have Johnny Cochran's son or somebody in your corner when you allegedly sue, which we know you're probably not going to because you're going to get cooked. You're antagonizing, trying to play victim, but you're still antagonizing through memes on your social media. You ran to social media after you hit that girl, Baumgardner, talking about, yeah, I'm from Flint. It's like that. Get your lick back. Let's see how tough you are. Little girl, she can't mess with me. And you're basically bragging about it, talking about get your lick back. All they got to do is show these screenshots, play these stupid videos of you still harassing the girl, memes with her on the phone like she a cop with her face superimposed on it. This video with Broner where you're accusing her of laying down with all these people. And if she's single, she could really do what she wants. None of these people are married men at the time where this allegedly happened anyway. You're with a married man technically.
Know you, Alycia. Some niggas that really ran.
And she thought she cooked with this, bro. That's what I'm saying. Tell Wynn Records to post this. If you're comfortable with your work and Boxingego is crazy, tell Wynn Records to open the comments and post this video of you. It's 30 minutes of content. It's going to get some engagement for them and they can use it because nobody knows who Wynn Records is, right? You're the biggest person on their roster. Why won't they promote this? Why is your boyfriend? He loves you so much. You said it was love at first sight. Cool. Why has he not got a tattoo of your name on him? Why he got a key to your spot? Do you have a key to his spot? You said he pays for all the flights and hotels and car note. Do you have a key to his spot? Does he have a tattoo on his skin of your name? Right? If all these people are really your people and really your friends, answer some of these questions, right? Does Papoose, like what happened to all them videos? Pap upstairs, Pap upstairs. When you doing these crash outs, it don't seem like he ever in the picture right now. Papoose is like, cuz, remember Muppet Babies? Where they never showed the nanny? They would never show her face. Remember when the cartoons used to do that? Where it'd be a main character and you just see their feet? Or Inspector Gadget? Do-do-do-do-do, Inspector Gadget, boo-do-do-do-do-do-do, hoo-hoo, do-do-do-do-do, right? Remember Dr. Claw? They never really showed his face. He was just petting a cat.
I'll get you, Gadget, if it's the last thing I do.
Bro, you don't remember that? Come on, bro. I'm a real one. I know about these cartoons. Yee. You don't remember Dr. Claw? That's Papoose. Dr. Claw. We never even see him. Right? The neighbor from Home Improvement looking over the fence. We don't see this man. The only time is like, for real, if I'm being honest, recently, the only time we see Papoose is when it's an event you probably got to pay for. Somebody, can I get an amen? Peep this. Peep what I'm about to say. Name a recent picture, like in the last month, where you've seen Clarissa and Papoose and it wasn't attached to like some type of event or spectacle, like that costs money, right? Or it should cost money. Let me take this off. They popped up. They were at the museum, right? So after the museum, we probably went and got something to eat. Cost money, right? And it was also like you're in a historic museum of history or whatever. So that's also something. Why would you not want your picture? Like, yeah, da-da-da-da. He's getting some shine from it too. You know what I mean? Stephanie Mills concert. It's a concert. Netflix event. Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, where you fought that girl, Baumgardner. All of these events that he seems to be tagging along cost money. How come you never really see videos of Claressa Shields recently and Papoose and they just at a park bench? Something that's free. That's not lit. It's not attached to spending money. You just at the beach with your girl. You on a park bench. And this girl, social media advertises everything. So I feel like we would see that. The times I'm seeing Papoose recently, there's always money being spent, right? When you went to Aurora in LA, that's a whole free LA trip. I'm a dude. I already know the game. When you were at the food spot with the soul food in LA, he had him a plate. I seen the video, right? You probably breaking bread for all this. Free flights, free food, but then you get on Breakfast Club saying he paying for it. Now, this is just speculation. So deep down inside, I know you watch my content. So only you know what you're providing for and what you're paying for. Remy Ma said he had a gambling issue, right? Street say he lived with his mama. Only you know if these things are true or not. But all I'm saying is from what I've seen recently, it seems like he's only there when it's something a bit more major that actually money is getting spent. Like, who wouldn't want to go, if you live in New York, who wouldn't want a free trip to LA? Get to eat good LA food. LA got a lot of good food. LA is my second home. I'll be out there, right? When is Papoose there when it's something that don't cost no money? Now, this goes to anybody listening. I'm giving y'all some free game. Y'all better soak it up. If you want to see who's really in your corner, don't break bread. Cut them off financially just to test them. It don't have to be permanent, but for a period of time. Like Clarissa, don't buy nothing for Papoose for 6 months and you'll get to see the real, right? So if you are paying for his meal, paying for his flight to LA, or even using your stature, let's say MVP let you have 2 free tickets. Take your girlfriend and say, hey, if you want to roll with us, you got to go buy you a ticket, right? That's how you see who's in your corner for real. Clarissa is young-minded, in my opinion, people. She don't understand this stuff. And you could be very accomplished, but this is a problem a lot of these boxers go through because they're almost like not socialized, right? So look at how many boxers, they don't look like male boxers. They don't look like they have great luck picking great women, right? It's like always ends in drama, like Wilder and Telly Swift, Floyd Mayweather. I just did a report. Some girl from his club, a dancer, stripper chick, said he got her pregnant. Now he owed $1 million and she could put a lien on his house. Devin Haney recently had some baby mama drama. Tank, he's had little female issues and stuff like that. A lot of these boxers are going through it because most people start boxing at a younger age, and I think you miss parts of your childhood that way. You know what I mean? You're always in tournaments. You don't get to go to the park. You're disciplined. You got to wake up. Your pops or coach or whatever make you wake up on Saturday morning. You can't be hungover from Friday. Me, I wasn't a boxer, so I would go out and chill and mac on girls, and we go to parties and be hungover. Some of these boxers, they don't experience that. So when they get popping in the pros, it's like a whole new world because money unlocks access. It's a resource, you know what I mean? So people start dabbling into drugs, or they didn't really drink when they were younger in tournaments. They were disciplined. Now they lose a bit of that discipline. I know the game. I know fighters personally. I've had conversations. I'm not going to say with who, but I know how the game goes. You get popping and then you start feeling above it. You know what I mean? Look at Errol Spence. Big fan of him, but he made some poor choices with the car situation, getting behind the wheel in that condition. When you easily got bread to call a homie, call a girl, Uber, Lyft, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's sad. A lot of these boxers, they just don't seem like very socialized, and they have relational issues because maybe they just didn't go through it. They was too busy grinding for the sport, where they don't see the people like Claressa Shields. All her dudes, none of them, we don't even know who those people, Tony, or I just heard his name. I don't even know who he is. But at least people have heard of Papoose. You see what I'm saying? So this is her first, it's not her first boyfriend, but it's her first boyfriend that the world knew. You know what I mean? That was like somewhat of his own brand, or attached to Remy, or on Love and Hip Hop. She didn't have no dudes that we know of publicly that fit that. So now it's like she dumping everything in. Again, this girl need a reality check. A bit of humility goes a long way. If you want to see who's in your corner, cut people off financially, see who complains, see who's like, because then like, all right, if I'm buying everything for everybody and people are taking advantage of me, I won't really know where the leak is until I like patch it up. So to patch it up, the way you do that is to stop the leak and be like, you know what? We're in a recession. I got to make this 8 million stretch. I'm not buying this stuff. We could kick it. You buy your own flight. You buy this, you buy that. Look at MC Hammer. I'm from the Bay. MC Hammer, same thing, bro. You making all this money and you trying to look out for everybody and buy everybody's food and give people jobs. But then when you go bankrupt, them people ain't in your corner. Not all of them, at least. They wanted to be at the fly music video shoots with the women and the pool parties and kick it with you in Too Short and stuff like that. But when you go flat broke, them people, majority of them, they gonna cut turf and leech on somebody else or try to figure out their life. Like, sucks to be Hammer, and then bounce. You know what I mean? So I know Clarissa be watching. So all I'm saying is pay attention to that. And you don't have to like me. You don't have to respect it. You don't have to listen. It's completely up to you. But the outside world feels like a game is being played. And we'll leave it at that. A game is being played. And you're at the center of it. And it's like if you want to find a mole in your camp, you leak bad information. And see if only one person was told this bad piece of information, that's how you find out who the mole is, who's leaking that to the press or whatever. Same thing with this. Cut people off financially if you're a celebrity breadwinner, and then see who's really in your corner, see who wants to kick it with you, and be around. Like, I'm being real as a man. This new version of Claressa Shields that we are seeing recently that seems unhinged, not even on no friendship stuff, I wouldn't want to be around it. You always angry, yelling, loud, cussing somebody out. I got stuff to do. I like to read and do other stuff. You know what I mean? So that wouldn't work for me. But to each his own. Cut people off financially and see who wants to be around you. Because some people, they don't have the moral compass of ego where I'm not going to be at the spot for no money if I don't want to be in someone's company. But some people will. They'll put up with the meltdowns and all that because they're receiving something for it, right? So they're not going to tell you you're doing wrong. They're going to be yes men, yes women, all those types of things. And you think it's all good. You better never break up with Papoose. I'll put it that way. The day, if that ever happens, and I'm not wishing that on her, but if you and Papoose do not work out, you should delete your Instagram, delete your Twitter, delete your face. All social media should be deleted because what will happen next, you would not like. Because people have been trying to tell you X, Y, and Z. You don't want to listen. You'll block people. You'll cuss people out. You say Baumgardner and everybody else wants your man and wants your life and is jealous of you. Enjoy that. But I feel like the meltdown, if that were to happen and you guys didn't make it, because let's be real, Remy Ma and Papoose, they were talking about black love and everybody thought they was like locked in for life. Any woman who goes to prison and then the ninja on the outside could have did whatever and he was trying to hold you down, or at least that's how the story goes, and then she get free. Like, that seems like you pretty locked in. And that didn't even work. So what do you think will happen if a man is 48 years old, pushing 50, you're 31, but you act like you're in high school, right? What do y'all have in common? Like, I'm being real. I'm being genuine. This is a different episode. I'm really just trying to analyze that. Meet the Graham style. What do you have in common? You know what I mean? And like really think about that, because you're loud. Papoose don't really seem too loud. You want to film everything and be on tape. Every time you film him, he look like a hostage. Like it looked like he don't even want to be on cam. So, and I can't speak for every man, but y'all let me know if you're a man in the comment section. As a man, do you want a girl who's loud, acting obnoxious, and like yelling in her room, running upstairs out of breath to collect some medals, to yell, I did this and favored, and everything Clarissa's recently done? You know what I mean? Do you want your girl to do that? I can't speak for y'all, but for me, it just could not be me. I can't. I need my peace. I need my space. And Clarissa seemed low-key clingy in addition. And I don't know, somebody pushing 50, I'm sure he don't want somebody all up under him, you know, because he's trying to bust his own moves and all that. So that's that. But as far as the Baumgardner stuff, I've already told you my opinion. You're the aggressor. The other thing people aren't really speaking on enough for me is people were like trying to think of all these comparable times where somebody got slapped. You didn't say this when this person got slapped. You didn't say this. Again, a lot of those times was in a fight environment. Clarissa, she's not an MVP fighter to be going to an MVP event slapping MVP fighters. That's one. So off that alone is different. Two, the other issue is nothing about this was really about them fighting. Like in terms of an actual sanctioned fight, right? What Clarissa pulled up and the energy she showed was like, I heard what you said about me and my man, worried about you, don't worry about who I'm with, worry about your relationship, blah, blah, blah. So that's not even boxing. That's like Zeus Network, the Real Housewives of Flint. That had nothing to do with boxing. That was about you opined on my relationship with Papoose. Don't worry about what we doing. Don't worry. Like, that wasn't about, hey, let's meet in the middle. I'll fight you at 148. 147 plus 1 pound. We can do it on neutral territory. So it wasn't even about an actual fight. It was about Baumgardner a year and a half ago made comments about your relationship that the whole internet is, by the way, making the same type of comments. You gonna fight everybody? Good luck with that. And you held that in and you didn't like what she had to say. And then you wanted to confront her. Now, I don't know Papoose, so I don't know his involvement, but it's to the point where if you're around Claressa Shields right now, you're actively hurting your brand for sure. Now, since she won't stop, that is apparent. She's not going to stop. She's going to keep acting like this and complete flash episodes, Britney Spears, shave her whole head off, whatever. She going to keep doing that. So now it's starting to defer to Wynn Records, Papoose, whoever's next to her, because she's not changing. So if y'all the voices of reason, or should be, you guys are looking bad now too. Wynn Records look bad. I will never patronize no Wynn Record. I'm not buying no album from Wynn Records. You got this girl out here like that. Ain't nobody taking her phone. Ain't nobody getting her help. Ain't nobody setting up a therapy. Ain't nobody putting out a press release saying like, hey, her behavior. Like, why would I respect any company that don't have a stance when stuff pop off with somebody, their client or somebody they're involved with, and either you support it or you don't support it? You're not saying nothing. You're trying to act like the Baumgardner situation didn't happen. I ain't supporting nobody like that. That's shiesty. Take a stance. You a company. This is your product. This is your brand. This is who you giving $8 million. You and your people and your investors saw fit to invest $8 million in this girl. Now all of a sudden it's all quiet on the Western Front when she out here acting a fool and everybody else sees it and you don't got nothing to say. So yeah, Papoose look bad. Wynn Records look bad. All the little people around her look bad because you guys are allowing this. Like, oh man, I tried to tell it. No, you're not trying hard enough. Because for me, this is how it work. I'm a real man, bro. I'm a real man. I don't care about YouTube and all. I'm a real man. If I'm around somebody and they crashing out this bad to the point where it's starting to make me look bad and I don't want to be around that negative energy, I'm out. That's how I'm built. I don't know about y'all, but that's me. Because I don't even want that type of negative juju even in my orbit. I don't want that around me. You're a wicked, evil, like spirit, the way you're acting. Shadasia Green. I'm about to go off on that again. I'm about to go off again. Because I don't like the people to disrespect me or like insult my intelligence, right? Clarissa be like, oh man, Nikisa is lying. He's trying to make it like I was laughing at Shadasia because she had a brain bleed. I'm suing for defamation. You can't sue for defamation when you're not even quoting him with what he said. You're misquoting him. This girl is obtuse, right? You can't interpret something somebody said and really misinterpret it and add words to it and then take them to court for what you believe they said as opposed to what they said in plain English. Nikisa never said you laughed solely because you had a brain bleed. He never said that. I proved that in my Unpack yesterday. He never said that. He said, I thought her behavior in general after Shadasia lost was disrespectful. That's what he said. So Clarissa's like, oh, I'm about to sue. Oh, defamation of character because he said I laughed at the brain bleed. And then this girl was like, I'm going to pull it up. Say less. Let me find it. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new, but even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.
We all know that MVP statement is always going to be to paint me out to be a bad person, to have bad character, to come after, to assassinate my character. We know that MVP does that. MVP tries to trigger me every chance they get, tries to pick at me. I mean, they literally came out the gate when MVP first.
This girl is so full of it. How do you not see this? She said MVP tries to always get at me, pick at me, trigger me, make me upset, blah, blah, blah. They try to sign you. So why would they try to sign you and offer you money if they hated you or whatever you're trying to say? That's one. Two, if what you're saying is true, they target you, they try to be offensive to you, and you're the victim here, even though you were the aggressor with Alycia Baumgardner at an MVP event with an MVP fighter. If you felt this way about you can't get a fair shake with MVP, why did you go to the Ronda Rousey fight knowing it was an MVP event? I mean, you guys got to be real. Like, at some point, I don't care if you're a fan of like Clarissa's fighting, I'm good with that. But all this extra stuff she's doing, which is what the video is about, come on, you got to be real, bro. Why would you go to MVP party? That would be like 50 Cent going to a Murder Inc. It's murder. Holla, holla. That's like 50 Cent going to a Murder Inc. Christmas party. He knows Black Tie, rest in peace to Irv, Ja Rule, Ashanti, Lloyd. None of them was messing with him. You know what I mean? Charlie Baltimore, the two crews, G-Unit and Murder Inc. was funking and beefing. Why would he go? So if Clarissa truly felt all this stuff she's saying in this rant video, why did you even go to their event? Oh, they always pick at me. They always treat me bad. They always have something to an axe to grind with me.
First came out the gate announcing that they were a promotion. They came out the gate calling Amanda Serrano the real GWOAT. And
again, she makes everything about herself. But let me get to the Shadasia Green part.
Which I was like, why y'all doing that? I let y'all know. Y'all was saying I was scared of Shadasia and I was ducking her. So now I'm letting y'all know after I get done with this, I want her. Let's go. Let's get it booked. No, they go and fight against Lonnie Daniels. So
they go and put Shadasia with Lonnie Daniels. This girl is delusional. She feels the whole world revolves around her. Her timing, her schedule, her storyline, her narrative, right? Why would Shakur be doing the same thing? Shakur Stevenson, right? Making these narcissistic statements like, why would they go ahead and book a fight with Lonnie Daniels knowing I wanted to fight her? Because you're not the end all be all. You're good. You're an accomplished fighter, but MVP they might have a contract. A lot of these fighters have a contract. For the people who don't watch boxing that frequently, sometimes fighters have it in their contract how many fights that the promoter has to give them per year, because people have livelihood, kids, they got bills to pay, so they need to be active and they want to, have a fruitful career. So we don't know. MVP's contract with Shadasia could have stipulated we owe her a fight by February or May, or she has to fight 3 times this year, We don't know the details of that. This girl keep talking about me, and how dare they schedule a fight. Shakur did that too. Like, man, I wanted to fight. Why did they go ahead and make this fight? Because the world doesn't revolve around y'all.
I'm watching the fight live. I know Lonnie Daniels is heavy-handed. To make this story short, Lonnie Daniels TKO Shadasia ass in the 9th round. Okay? I'm watching it live. As I'm watching it live, I'm commentating. I'm making videos. All of a sudden, after she gets beat or whatever, probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes after the fight, they're announcing on TV that she had a brain bleed. So why is Nikisa making it seem like I was celebrating her having a brain bleed if no one knew she had a brain bleed?
She thought she cooked. You did not cook. You should have left this alone. You did not cook. Her talking points are weak. You foolish infidel. Let me explain this. Her talking point is, how was I supposed to know that Shadasia had a brain bleed if I was watching it live? And then Keisha making it sound like first of all, he never said you laughed specifically at her having the brain bleed. So you're talking about suing for defamation of character based on things he never even said. I played that in the video yesterday. Go back and watch it, right? Or go watch his interview. He never said that. he said the way you were acting overall after she lost was distasteful, you know, and that's just me paraphrasing. That's what he said. He didn't say that the brain bleed was specific. So once again, Claressa Shields would be like, everyone's lying on me. They're lying on me. She won't tell you what the lie is. Then what she does is she'll take something people never said, or very few people said, no one of importance said, and then she'll base her whole argument around that, right? Then she'll take situations like this and be like, I was watching it live and they didn't say nothing about her having a brain bleed until 40 minutes later. So how was I supposed to know? That's pretty much what she's telling you. And I'm going to break that down, how it's still her fault and you not ducking this smoke. You not getting out of it. So once again, this is her excuse.
Which, rewind, they have also been saying that all the girls I've been fighting with concussions, I haven't had no brain bleed. Thank God for that. But I've dealt with concussions. I know that we can die in there. But for Nikisa to let the words spill out of his mouth and say that I was celebrating Shadasia, who he cares about very deeply, losing.
He didn't say all that. You ad-libbing.
After she had losing, knowing she had a brain bleed. No.
He never said you knew she had a brain bleed. But let me let it play. And then I'll cook her.
Nobody knew when we was watching Shadasia get her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew that. So, since we all so smart, let's go on Google and see what do you have to do to see if you have a brain bleed. It's testing involved. It's testing involved. Like, you can't look at somebody and say, that's a brain bleed. Absolutely not. So, because I'm about to go to my notes on this because I hate when people lie on my character, bro.
This girl should have never did this, because now Boxingego, I gotta chop her up. So again, you see her argument. She's like, I hate when people lie on my character. And yeah, now I'm gonna go to my notes. You have to get a CAT scan and a brain scan to see if it's a brain bleed. You're going too deep off into the brain bleed. The bottom line is this. Something, you watched the fight. No, she said she watched the fight live. So that's already in stone, that she was watching the MVP card live as it was happening, right? So take the brain bleed and let's set that aside, because that was an after effect to what happened in the ring. So we know for a fact, watch how I chop this girl up and hype me up. You're not getting out of this. Your character was shown, and I'll explain it. Let's take the brain bleed, put it off to the side for now. Cool. In real time, none of us knew until further doctor testing that it was actually a brain bleed. You do have to get that test. So her whole argument is that. So we'll just put it to the side temporarily. You're saying you watched the fight live. That's what she just said. You're saying that, and you're commentating as the fight was going. I already pulled up her tweets. She was like, "Ooh, she getting whooped. Oh my God, just the girl you said could beat me." So we have your reaction. You did one in the car and Papoose was laughing, right? And then you went inside the house with that Sam's Club Moscato and like, "Ooh, this girl making me drink. You MVP girls, y'all can't with me. You better shut up and don't use my name." So you had plenty of conversation about Baumgardner winning and Shadasia losing. That is documented factual proof. So brain bleed is still over here. Let's just focus on that. So the reason why Claressa's argument is horrible is because we didn't need a CT scan result to know that the girl was having trouble staying conscious. You can see that in the ring, right? So everything you're saying is pure cap, because you know, yes or no, if you watched it live, you knew that she did not walk out of the ring. You knew that because we all knew it, because we seen her get put on a gurney and put on a stretcher and stretchered out. So she did not walk. That's what people are saying. You keep focusing on the brain bleed exclusively, and you're like, how was I to know type of deal. You don't have to know. All you know is you've seen someone get knocked out because you're watching it live. Yes or no? Yes. All you know is she did not walk out of that ring by her own accord, right? Like we've seen fighters get knocked out and then they get back up and then they walk out and they're just disappointed. You witness all of that. That's what's showing your character. It's not you knew in advance that it was a brain bleed, but you just said in this same live that everybody else is a casual fan and you casuals don't really understand boxing. So anybody who's a fan of sports, not just boxing, sports, like if you watch the NFL, right, and you're watching a football game and it's helmet to helmet contact and a person's body stiffens up, they fall to the ground and they seize and they're just laying there, and then the team that they play with got to call a timeout and it's 2 minutes has passed and the person's still not up, and then they get the cart and cart them out after 5 minutes and they still on the ground. Everybody who watches the NFL knows that is not a good sign, right? Period. So you can bend it, pull it, twist it, try to reshape it. Everybody knows that when a person in any sport cannot walk off of the court, walk off of the field, get up and walk out the canvas, right? They know what it is. Like, remember when Damar Hamlin had in that game, he had a heart attack, right? Cardiac arrest. Everybody on both teams, name somebody who publicly played for either of the teams that was acting like Clarissa. Like, yeah, this team can't beat us. Nobody acted like that because we all seen Damar on the field and he was unresponsive and we're like, oh no, right? So in your horrible attempt to try to salvage your character, you actually made it worse because one, you're over explaining. If you know what's in your heart, you don't even have to explain it. You notice me, I don't really do too much explaining. Like, I do videos and give analysis, but if I believe in something and I know the purity of my heart, I'm not really going to overanalyze it and over explain it. This was Shadasia Green. They showed this on the telecast. So there's no way you seen a knockout. You said you watched it live. You seen this. You didn't have to wait until the brain scan came back and seen. Everybody, look, whoever posted this, prayers for Shadasia Green, prayer emoji. Boxing is a brutal sport, not a game. So you see, it says medical staff, and they got a cross on their shirt. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people crowded around a fighter who is not standing up for themselves, right? And shout out to this page, Busy Boxing. They had the wherewithal. They didn't know she had a brain bleed, but they had the wherewithal as a good boxing fan and a good sport to be like, hold on, I'll pull it up for y'all. Look, so this is what they showed live on the broadcast. And shout out to Busy Boxing. They had the couth and the decorum to say prayers for Shadasia Green. MVP Promotions. Boxing is a brutal sport. Because these were the images. This was the imagery that we all seen. So, yeah, when they posted this, nobody knew exactly what happened. Was she going to live? Was she unalived? That's the scenes. Look at how many people are in the ring, right? It looked like 45 people in the ring. So you don't have to. You made yourself look way worse by trying to explain it because you didn't have to wait until she got carted out, got in the ambulance, and then went to the hospital, waited in the waiting room for 30 minutes, waited for an hour for the test result. You don't need that. Any reasonable person with good character and that doesn't have a wicked and evil spirit, right, would have seen this and this would have been enough. We don't need to wait for a test result. It's like a test. What's the results? Not positive. Who's the best? Nas, Paca, Big. Ain't no bet. Like, you don't have to wait in order to see something was not right here, right? That's why people went off on you. That is exactly why they went off. Here's another page. Shadasia Green taken out on a stretcher after loss to Lonnie Daniels, MVP. Blah, blah, blah. So all these boxing pages who you call casual, J-Zo Sports, right? Everybody else who has a boxing page had the wherewithal to know the severity of it. Supreme Boxing, prayers for Shadasia. She is being taken to the hospital on a gurney, praying hands. So none of us knew, including myself, I had the same type of post, right? We seen this and we knew that in this given moment, boxing is a brotherhood, a sisterhood, right? We want to see good fights. We want to see knockouts. We don't want to see it at the expense of somebody potentially losing their life. So at that given moment, if you're on this side or your team this, none of that really matters more than the human life, right? So we wanted to see her eyes open up. We wanted to check her Instagram, make sure the girl was really cool. But when people, people with good integrity, they don't act like this. You always go low, and you made it look at the thumbnail. That about encapsulates it. Her making all these faces while somebody else is being carted out, right? And she's like, oh, but Nikisa lied on me. No, he didn't. Because first of all, he didn't say half of what you said he said. And you didn't have to wait for the answers from the doctor to know that something was seriously wrong. She was taking unanswered punches and then getting carted out. That's all you needed to know. So you trying to explain made it worse. Just to give you guys an idea, this is a stoppage, right? Several unanswered punches, right? And she was just shelled up. So you watched that because you admitted that you watched it live and you seen her like slow to get up. And then now you're trying to play in people's faces like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Now when you get called out for being distasteful, for having low character, and you be calling everybody else low vibration. What is that? You made it about yourself. You were like, this is the girl who said that she could beat me. I got all the tweets. The world already knows. And this is what I can't stand when people do is instead of just admitting, hey, I made a mistake. The GWOAT is like Trump. She will never admit if she's wrong, right? It just becomes someone else's problem, right? But that's okay. We got receipts. You said eye emoji, and this is who y'all said was gonna beat me. Get the F out of here. Lonnie just TKO Shadasia. You're laughing. What do these emojis mean to anybody in this room? Crying emoji. That means you're laughing, right? You said, and I quote, Lonnie not playing with sweet ad tonight. Laughing emoji, right? You can't change what you already did. Man, Shadasia looked tired, man. And now you're saying you're going to sue for defamation. Show this in court. Oh. And I got more. It don't stop. Look, crying emoji. So we know what type of time you were on. Don't try to clean it up now. Stand on what you believe in. It's not everybody else's fault. And then you talking about Nikisa lied on you. How dare you say people are lying on you when it's on video? I got the videos. One in your car, one in your crib where you went on live. I got the tweets. I just showed those. The videos were in my video yesterday, right? I showed everybody watching this video that it was well documented that Shadasia was unresponsive. And if you're watching live and you weren't busy tweeting, trying to be petty, right? You definitely seen that she got taken out on a stretcher. So no matter what she says in your live, you could have just cut that whole part out, because either way you're in the wrong. And to add salt to the wound, on the live telecast before the stoppage, right? I'm going to play the audio of what the commentators were saying to prove that it was well documented that something was wrong with Shadasia. Play the clip.
That's it.
Guys, Shadasia Green barely moved out of her corner.
She's wincing. Something is going on with Shadasia Green tonight. She's on her way out. You can tell it. Ronnie Daniels is bringing it on, and they stopped the fight. She's done it.
Boom. So, leading up to the stoppage, Christina Poncher and her co-host said Shadasia was slow to get up and get out of her corner. You know, when people have concussions or brain bleeds, that could be a sign. Discombobulated, hazy, cloudy, foggy, right? Lethargic, right? There's a fighter that I think it was a Teofimo undercard that he passed away. Rest in peace. His name was Maxim Dadashev, and Subriel Matias fought him, and unfortunately he succumbed to his injuries. He was acting the same way, where it was scary, because I remember watching that fight in LA. I was in LA and I watched it in real time, and he was a warrior to the end. But look it up if you don't believe me. He was a warrior to the end, but he was like blanking out. He was just acting weird, and it was apparent something was wrong. So me knowing that, I didn't know he was going to later pass away and succumb to those unfortunate injuries. But that would be like me being a Subriel Matias fan, and then in that moment where he was acting weird, I think maybe even one point he threw up in the corner, stuff like that. These just aren't good signs for a boxer in a fight, right? That would be like me being a super Matias fan and getting on Twitter like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, knockout of the year. Like, why would people do that? So again, almost everybody else, whether they like Shadasia, whether they like Jake Paul, whether they were a big Clarissa fan or not, right? Or they liked another fighter, Baumgardner, most people had enough couth and respect in that given moment to not like empty the clip and be too disrespectful. That's what this is about. Again, I can play it again for you. They said Shadasia was slow to get out of her corner and she's wincing. Something is clearly wrong. This is what they said before the stoppage. So we know Claressa Shields was watching because she revealed that. And she said, I didn't know until 40 minutes later she had a brain bleed. That part could be true. Cool. But you watched the stoppage because right at the moment it happened, you were tweeting about it, right? So you clearly would have heard Christina Poncher say something is wrong with Shadasia Green. She's wincing. Play the clip.
That's it.
Guys, Shadasia Green barely moved out of her corner.
She's wincing. Something is going on with Shadasia Green tonight.
Something is going on for Shadasia Green tonight. See, I told y'all to leave me alone. I'm too surgical. You know I'm surgical with this. Jake! I'm too surgical. Clarissa is not. She's like trying to use strawman argument. Oh, I didn't know it was a brain bleed. Nobody said you did. We said you acted like a donkey, and her medical condition at best was unbeknownst, but it looked dire. It looked serious.
I'm commentating. I'm making videos. All of a sudden, after she gets beat or whatever, probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes after the fight, they're
I hate the way she talked to 30 minutes
announcing on TV that she had a brain bleed. So why is Nikisa making it seem like I was celebrating her having a brain bleed if no one knew she had a brain bleed?
You knew she got put on a stretcher and knocked out. You knew from the commentary she was wincing and slow to get up off her stool. That was readily available. And yet and still you put out several videos and several tweets, which I just went over.
Come on now. Like me out of all people, I know how serious boxing is. I've dealt with concussions. I haven't had no brain bleed. Thank God for that. But I've dealt with concussions. I know that.
Again, back to her. Always got to revolve around her. I've had concussion. We don't care.
We can die in there. But for Nikisa to let the words spill out of his mouth and say that I was celebrating Shadasia, who he cares about very deeply, losing knowing she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew when we was watching Shadasia get her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed.
Boom. The funny thing, I'm just gonna say it, I'm smarter than Claressa Shields. It's very apparent. I'm smarter than you. Right? You just got caught up. You're trying to be cunning, but when in the premise of looking at people's character, right? Your real true character will always spill out. The mask at some point will slip. Like if a girl meets a guy and they start dating and a guy's pretending to be someone he's not, there'll probably be red flags that if you could overlook them and then be in the wrong relationship. But if you look back to a bad relationship, like all the women watching this, and I guarantee you there were red flags about that man that you overlooked because you wanted to give him a chance. You liked him. So you might have looked past it. Or you could have known that it was there and you just liked him so much and maybe you were needy or you wanted to be with someone, whatever. So you just accepted it. But the mask, at some point, a person's true character will always show. It's very hard to be like an evil, mean-spirited person, and you almost have to be like a Denzel level actor to do that 24/7 with cameras in your face without ever people seeing the real side of you. You know what I mean? That's very hard to do because you essentially, if you're a nasty person, you got to be someone you're not. But Claressa just told on herself, right?
Like me out of all people, I know how serious.
So peep this. She's trying to explain her case. Like, how could Nikisa say that my character's so bad that I would wish bad on someone? I know how it is to be a fighter. But the mask will slip. Listen to people's words.
Boxing is. I've dealt with concussions.
I, me. But keep watching.
I haven't had no brain bleed.
I, me. The mask is starting to slip, y'all.
Thank God for that. But I've dealt with
concussions. I, me. The mask is about to slip, y'all.
Concussions. I know that we can die in there. But for Nikisa to let the words spill out of his mouth and say that I was celebrating Shadasia, who he cares about very deeply, losing knowing she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew when we was watching Shadasia get her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed.
Boom. She's trying to trick you with theatrics and being animated and using her hands. She just told on herself. She said nobody knew when Shadasia Green was in there getting her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed. Why would you phrase it like that? If you're no ill will and your character is not in question, why would you phrase it like that? Why would you say when she was so you're trying to act like an empath, like you have empathy for Shadasia Green, but the mask just slipped. That is the second time if I play it back, she said something else about her getting her ass whooped or her da. I could play it, but peep it again.
Thank God for that. But I've dealt with concussions. I know that we can die in there. But for Nikisa to let the words spill out of his mouth and say that I was celebrating Shadasia, who he cares about very deeply, losing after knowing she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew when we was watching Shadasia get her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed.
Nobody knew when Shadasia was in there getting her ass whooped. The girl is a narcissist. She doesn't care. In your attempt to try to exonerate or vindicate yourself and act like you have this sympathy, a true narcissist, the mask will always slip. Why did you need to say when Shadasia was in there getting her ass whooped? That's how you really feel. That's why you're trying so hard to convince. You're a manipulator. So you're trying to convince and, shape the narrative because you don't like the narrative that your character is in question, that you have a mean girl spirit, an evil, wicked spirit. But it just came out because if you really felt compassion for her, and this is how fake Claressa Shields is, people. So I gotta do these videos because y'all were beefing. We all knew about that, right? But then you said you had a conversation with Shadasia and kind of pieced it up where it wasn't as tense. Like you guys were kind of cool. And you're like, yeah, I ain't got no problem with her. But then you still acted like that towards her because people were pitting Shadasia against you. So much for piecing it up with Shadasia Green, because to this day, at least as far as that live stream you just did, you're still taking shots at her. This is a fake individual, people. If you say you're going to squash a beef with someone, don't you just do that? Or do you continue taking shots at them to this day? And she does it. It's not just with her, right? She's like, congrats, Lonnie Daniels. You that girl with your heavy-handed self. But then when she's talking in other stanzas, she was like, man, Shadasia got her ass whooped. And I beat the out of Lonnie Daniels with 2 torn shoulders. Back to me. This is this girl's character. I'm trying to tell you, bro. You can get mad at me. I'm just a messenger here to deliver the message. You're trying to bump up and hoist up Lonnie Daniels. You don't give a about Lonnie Daniels. You care about you, Claressa Shields. You care that you beat Lonnie Daniels, and then the girl people thought could beat you, Shadasia Green, an opponent, a mutual opponent that you had beat and dominated or whatever, knocked her out. So that's what you're happy about, right? You're happy because you feel like I beat the girl that people wanted to see me fight. Now I don't have to fight her. Papoose literally said when he was in the car laughing, or when he was laughing, oh, you're not fighting her. You're not fighting her. The videos are up. It's on my page. You guys can find it, right? So this became a get out of jail free card. You're talking about you're trying so hard. Oh, I wanted to fight her. And I said, and then they went and fought Lonnie Daniels and then she got her ass whooped. It always circles back to Claressa Shields. Always about her. So you're trying to act like you're cool with Lonnie Daniels. You're cool because you beat her. And then she went on to beat your op, right? And this is what Clarissa does. Caroline Dubois, that's another front. You're not happy for that girl for real. Because you said, I want Alycia Baumgardner to fight Caroline Dubois on my undercard. But then you went on Big Ticket Show and said you wanted to fight Baumgardner. This girl getting exposed left and right. Y'all can't tell me I'm lying. The evidence is all there. Tigger said, name 3 people you want to fight. Laila Ali, who already said she's not coming out of retirement for you. 50 Cent, a man who making too much money to be trying to fight some girl from Flint. And you said Baumgardner. So I thought you wanted Caroline Dubois to fight Baumgardner. And then to take that a step further, as soon as you guys were in the same environment, you ran up on her and touched her. I thought you wanted Caroline Dubois to get the shine. So again, Claressa Shields, all this over explaining. I told Wynn Records, y'all should have got this girl. Now all the bloggers are gonna know what it really is and make videos. And the more she talks, the more, like Floyd said, if you make a mistake, you gotta pay. The more she talks, the more she getting cooked. She is not on the level. Like what you said to the MVP girls. I'm on level 100 and they on 10. The bloggers on level 100 cooking you. You're on level 10. You could be the greatest boxer in the world and accomplished, but when it comes to blogging and receipts and facts, the bloggers is skunking you. You talk about, how was I to know that when we was watching Shadasia get her ad whooped? You're still taking shots at her. This is how miserable of a person you are. And I can see if I can find the other one.
I want her. Let's go. Let's get it booked. No, they go and fight against Lonnie Daniels. So I'm watching the fight live. I know Lonnie Daniels is heavy-handed. To make this story short, Lonnie Daniels TKO Shadasia ass in the 9th round.
See, look at how she's talking. TKO Shadasia ass in the whatever 9th round.
Okay, I'm watching it live. As I'm watching it live, I'm commentating. I'm making videos. All of a sudden, after she gets beat or whatever, probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes after the fight, they're announcing on TV that she had a brain bleed. So why is Nikisa making it seem like I was celebrating her having a brain bleed if no one knew she had a brain bleed?
I've already answered that. How about this? How about Claressa Shields take a polygraph, a lie detector test? All this theatrics, do a lie detector test. And then I'll pick the questions. Did you know that Shadasia got taken out of the ring as opposed to walking out? Yes or no? If she says no, she gonna fail. Did you see them put her on a stretcher? Yes or no? If you say no, you gonna fail, right? Which further proves my point. You had enough knowledge to know that all the signs pointed to trouble, but none of that mattered to you because you're a narcissist and you didn't really care about that girl's health. You cared about hoisting up and propping your name up to show that you're the dominant force in women's boxing. That's all you cared about. You're selfish.
Come on now. Like me out of all people, I know how serious boxing is.
Then why would you put all them crying, laughing emojis and post all these videos? You MVP, y'all can't mess with me. I'm on level 100, y'all. What is that the appropriate time? Like, for example, if someone you knew got hit by a car and they in the ICU and you don't know if they're gonna live or not, are you gonna be like, man, Kenny owed me $50? Do you think that's the appropriate time to kick up dust about $50 that the person owe you and they laid up in the hot? Come on, bro. I shouldn't have to teach you guys morality and ethics like this. Come on. Do you need the $50 that bad? I'll give you $50. There's a man laid up in the ICU. You don't know what the prognosis is. That $50 can wait. So again, she had plenty of information that showed, since you know so much about boxing, this was not the norm. Like a lot of people get knocked out. Like Torres got knocked out by Frank Sanchez the other day, right? But it didn't take him 10 minutes and he didn't leave out on the stretcher like that, right? So easy to distinguish. But again, listen again, she was like, how was I supposed to know that Shadasia when we was watching her get her ad whooped? I thought you squashed the beef. Why are you like this?
I've dealt with concussions. I haven't had no brain bleed. Thank God for that. But I've dealt with concussions. I know that we can die in there. But for Nikisa to let the words spill out of his mouth and say that I was celebrating Shadasia, who he cares about very deeply, losing after knowing she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew when we was watching Shadasia get her ass whooped that she had a brain bleed. Nobody knew that.
So anyway, I've proven my point. That's why she got to get all amped up and hyped up and animated. And you notice me, I'm not getting animated. I'm just talking. I'm not, oh, the Kisa and huh. I don't got to do all that. My point does the arguing for me. I don't got to raise my voice. I don't got to exclaim. I don't got to scream. I don't barely even have to use my hands. I don't have to do all that. You do. And usually when people over explain, that's like a guilty conscience, right? If you know, like, I'm a tall guy, right? If someone's like, Ego, you're really short. Okay. I'm not going to get on live, talk for 40 minutes about how I'm not short. Whatever. You think I'm short. Amazing. Like, I don't care. But half of this stuff this girl be talking about, she say she don't care about, but her actions prove otherwise. I'm not jealous of Alycia Baumgardner. I love my skin. I wish I was darker. Then why you keep talking about skin tone and complexion if you love everything? Why did you get so frustrated that you actually physically touch Baumgardner if you're not jealous or you don't care? Why are you putting her alleged body count from a Broner video over a year ago? Why are you like bringing that back up? If you're comfortable in all these things. So Clarissa just continues to look bad, and it appears to me nobody can reason with her. So expect more crash outs until I'm gonna tell you how this works. Kind of like Kanye West, right? Little by little, people are gonna grow fed up of the crash outs, the meltdowns, the insensitivities, whatever you're doing. People are gonna tell you about yourself. And then it's going to keep getting worse and worse. And then the people are going to get louder and louder and louder. But here's the kicker. Then it's going to get to the point of no return where it really becomes hard to even get people's attention anymore. Like, we just know right now, Clarissa thinks, oh, I'm getting all these views and press. You're getting views for the wrong things, right? In the wrong reasons. You're dating a married man. You're getting views for that. But if you continue on this path, you're going to keep doing it. And eventually it's going to get to the point where people just know you as a crash out and you're not going to be the storyline anymore. And the damage that you have done to your brand, you might already be there. I don't know. I'm not the almighty, you know what I mean? But it could get to that point where Wynn Records, Papoose, no one's going to be able to save you. You're just going to be labeled a crash out, and then those views are going to drop if they already haven't. I mean, I think it's already happening because you look at some of these interviews she's done, like Melissa Ford, right? Let me see how many views it got now because it's been up for a while, right? Melissa Ford, Claressa Shields. Yeah. Look.
History. So with that is
this interview, you got 28,000 views. Y'all see that? The video was posted a month ago. 28K views. You gave her an hour of your time for 28,000 views. I could get that talking about you. I don't have to even interview you. You know what I mean? I check the numbers. That's all I'll say. People that never made. The amount of secondhand embarrassment I have right now is crazy. She didn't get to ask no questions. Clarissa just yapped the whole time. People really just talk about your relationship. Nobody talks about the boxing. She was scared to ask questions. It looks like Melissa Ford responded. I thought I seen her name. It was a joke, boo. Clarissa was every bit candid, a total sweetheart. She worked hard. Everyone, we're not going off that because they're not explaining the stuff, the Shadasia part. Get Melissa Ford up out of here. She picked and choose who she interviews. That now we cook it. Shout out to Simone. She pick and choose who interviews her because she knows who will hold her accountable and who won't. Look, 208 people agreed. 40 replies. Why would anyone volunteer their partner to fight? Never put your partner in potential danger. She just lied. Said she was the first woman to make $1 million in boxing. Katie Taylor, Serrano were the first to do that. Look, not one positive comment. She is a mistress. I mean, I'm out. Yeah, I'm not finna look at all this. Y'all know what it is. So please, I told you, it don't make no never mind to me. Please keep crashing out Claressa Shields. I try to warn you. You could come on my page with all the burner accounts. It ain't gonna save you. That's not saving you from the public opinion. The public has a right to opinion. It's a free country. And you can keep. And here, let me ask you this. Clarissa be on other people's page without a burner account with her username. Why she come on my page with several different burner accounts? Why don't you just show your real face? Why don't you show your real name, right? You blocked me. I didn't block you. So why are you even using burners? This shows you the character. I'm exposing the character. If you got so much to say, why are you saying it under a burner account? Tell you what. If that comment from Simone was not true, I'll do an interview with Claressa Shields, right? I'll be professional like always. And she will get cooked. She'll get cooked. We'll do a live interview. I guarantee you she won't do it. And if she does do it, it might truly be the end because it will be probably the worst interview that she's ever done. If you think you can outsmart and outwit ego, then pull up. You know what I mean? I'm your Huckleberry. I told you that from the beginning. I guarantee you she don't do it. Because I promise I'm too strategic. I spend my whole life to get to these moments. Just like she worked hard to be an excellent boxer. This mic, this is mine. This is what I do. She would get questions that she wasn't prepared for. She would get hit from so many different angles. It'd be like fighting an octopus. Because unlike her, I'm not finna yell and scream and telegraph my move. So you're not even gonna understand. The only thing you could do is get on here and get mad and like cuss me out. But that's gonna make you look bad. So I said what I said. If she want to do the interview, I'm welcome to it. But she's going to keep interviewing with Big Tigger and Breakfast Club and Melissa Ford and people that seem like in that spiritual advisor that are all singing her praises. You don't want it with people who are not yes men and yes women. I could assure you that. That's why she blocked me. You know what I mean? Because if you don't play that Claressa Shields game, I don't think this girl listen to anybody. For real. And that's sad because in life you got to listen to people. You know what I mean? And you don't even listen to your man. Papoose was on Vlad TV and he was like, 50 dissed us and I told her, you're in training camp, don't worry about it. But later that day, she said something to 50. You don't even listen to him. And you don't listen to the fans that tell you you are in a mistress / married entanglement, whatever you want to call it. Coming from experience, I've been on this earth longer than Claressa Shields, right? And I'm gonna tell you from experience, and I'm not saying me with married people, but I've seen it and I know people and I've talked to people and I've had my own situations, not that, but other things, right? I have this belief, if you will. In a relationship, how you start it is typically how you end it. Let me explain. If I meet a girl and our relationship originates because that girl is cheating on her husband, and then they eventually he finds out, she moves out, and then she moves in with me, and then we start dating. Now that means our relationship was rooted in a lie. It took for your marriage to crash out to give birth to our relationship. I don't do that. I don't believe in that because, one, now I know this is a cheater. So, like Genuine said, remember that? What's so different? Like the saying goes, you reap what you sow, and what goes around comes back around to you right down. Remember, what goes around comes around. Like the saying goes, you reap what you sow. So if your whole situationship is founded on a lie or false pretense, or you cheated to start messing with her, or she cheated to start messing with you, then 4 years down the line, right? If she's not happy, what's going to stop her from cheating on you when she was married to somebody and she cheated to start this relationship? So again, word to the wise, how you start is typically how you finish. There's another saying that I like. The way you do anything is the way you do everything, right? So I don't touch anything unless I'm prepared to do a good job for it, right? Like if I have to clean the bathroom, I'm going to try to clean it to the best of my abilities. I don't do things half-hearted. You know what I mean? If I'm going to make videos, if I'm going to knit and crochet, I'm trying to be the best that I could be doing all these things. You know what I mean? The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So, yeah, you're with a guy who's technically married. Most women with some sense, they're going to have enough wherewithal or experience in life to be like, that Remy situation, one, she's a public figure, and Clarissa used to be friends with her and go to her for advice. Remy put that out, right? So most people would be like, this is too messy for me. Clear that up, fully annul or get the divorce decree or whatever you got to do to get a clean break, and then let's start on a clean slate. But that's not what you did. And then now you mad at the world and Baumgardner for speaking on it. We unpack.